been a little while since I have done some zodiac readings. I'm going to try to get back into them. Thank you to all of you, too, who have. I think Spirit has been getting messages towards me lately that through quarantine, my videos and audios have helped a lot of people get through the time and not feel so terrible about it. So thank you, Spirit, for that gift from me to you and that you share it with me. And also, thank you for adding your energy to the by liking, sharing, subscribing, things like that. Every time you contribute, it helps boost things and it makes it more fun. In any case, I'm gonna try to make these ones a little short. And soon I'm going to be doing some similar stuff on TikTok as well because Spirit's like, my guides are like on my butt about I need to get on there. I'm not really even 100% sure why TikTok particularly, but I'm going to go for it. So, Capricorn. This is a TSG reading, which is Tell Me Something Good. Oh, I should do TMSG. Maybe I'll change it to that later. It's just a lot to put in the characters. YouTube doesn't like to add it in there. But either way, this is your Tell Me Something Good reading. It's going to be about good things coming your way for August. And I'm going to probably be doing some more readings like that because there are plenty of readings out there that will tell you all about the icky, 3D, karmic kind of stuff coming in. And I want to talk about what's good. So, starting out, you got card number 32 of the Divine Circus, Clown of Crossroads. And I don't have the book on me, and I just decided, you know what, it doesn't matter because I'm an intuitive reader. And it's funny because the look on that clown's face, it's a very Capricorn look. And for those of you with Capricorn sun, moon, or rising especially, though Venus and Mars as well, like that can be a look. It's kind of one of those like heavy emotions. And a lot of people don't recognize, like, they think of Capricorn and associate more with the goat side, the earthy side, but we are a sea goat because we evolve. We come from the deepest depths of Piscean and Scorpio and Cancerian waters, and we evolve into our earthly selves. So we do not leave behind all of the emotions. And sometimes there are moments when it's funny because I love the tell me something good aspect of this. This is one of those moments where you're going to find yourself much more balanced, like being able to walk both worlds, to be able to authentically be in touch with your emotions, even the ones that are heavier, but it won't feel like it feels like you're learning to remove words from your vocabulary, like that was hard or heartbreaking or difficult or shattering, and instead you're kind of getting this sense with all this Leo energy that there is goodness in vulnerabilities. There's goodness that you feel what you feel. There is goodness that, there's rain before rainbows kind of thing. And being that it's the Clown of Crossroads and it's card number 32, which equals 5, and that's Hierophant energy, I'm getting the sense that you have been going through many crossroads, and there will probably be more crossroads. And you're getting the knack for being able to, like, you don't have to know what all is going to happen when you decide, left or right, or go back or go that way. Like, you just like, you know what, no matter what road I walk, it's going to be good. And so I'm going to follow my heart or my intuition. You're really starting to learn that, and you're learning to be able to walk amongst people as who you really are. And that's a really valuable skill, and it's part of why I'm not surprised that the clown's garb in this is that beautiful kind of magenta color, because that's connected with the crown chakra, which is often seen in either a very, very pink hue or white. And so, like, it's very much, especially with the emotion on there, feels like it's not that you'll necessarily be antisocial, but you might be more quiet in different situations. And there has been this energy collectively of learning to move within silence, learning to explore silences. So it might be some of that time for you. Now, the card we got from the Shamanic Oracle, birth, renewal, and there's kind of a phoenix on there. Hang on a second. There's a phoenix. I think of it as a phoenix. It's actually, if I look at it, it's almost like a robin more, but it's not colored like a robin. It's definitely colors of a phoenix. And when we think of phoenix, we think of rebirth. But I'm also thinking about There's this show that I've been watching recently. It's called Sweet Tooth on Netflix. Now, I really I've gotten out of the habit of watching any TV for years and years, but the energy's been there, and I'm like, okay, let's watch it. And it's kind of one of those like post-apocalyptic sort of shows, but in it, like they just had a scene where they talked about like the thing in this world was a virus that came and created children, like all the children born after the sick got the adults were part human, part animal, and so they're hybrids. And like some people in the world hated that, and they try to take out the children before they can get, they can grow and create more, and then others are trying to save them. But there was like they went back and talked about the scientists who created, not created, who like she was working on a team with people in Alaska who pulled out this really old ice that had bacteria in it, and they grew it, and they used a chicken egg. They used an egg, and they were trying to grow vaccines, but instead they made a human baby. Now, I don't know all the details of it. It seems a little like there seems to be a lot in the middle. Like it's really, how do you go from a chicken egg to a half baby, half deer, or a half gopher, half baby? Like there's a lot in there. But what it reminds me of though is that almost like the things you can do with an egg, and then also hybrid, which is a word that's been coming through a lot. And so you might feel resonant to this, Capricorn. And think about it too, like a sea goat is a hybrid. And so as a part of your life theme, especially if Capricorn is your sun sign, you're meant to be kind of a hybrid. You're meant to kind of have a foot in each world, and to be able to move through things easily, to see what you see, to do what you do, to feel what you feel, that sort of thing. And it feels like, especially, these are very Leo colors, and we're in Leo season right now, and part of this next month will be Leo season, it's part of Leo season. And so it feels kind of like that. It's funny, in the show she had talked about, like, if we get it right, then we'll have eggs that are full of miracles. If we get it wrong, all hell breaks loose. And they didn't even get it wrong, but like the government got freaked out by what they were doing and what they were working with, and came in to try to destroy everything, including a child that had been created from it, and that unleashed it. Which is, if you think about the lesson in that, like, many good things can happen and they'll be incubating, but we get scared of the potential bad outcomes that could come about, and then we go in and try to like destroy the whole thing and take it either back to scratch or to burn it all away so it can't be there. And it's in those moments when we are acting out of ego and fear that we're like, scratch the whole freaking thing, that we actually end up creating the very situation that we were afraid was going to happen. So that might be part of what you're not learning this month, Capricorn, but more like what you have learned already, and what you're learning to kind of move in as part of that like hybrid energy that you're moving with, and you're learning to walk in the in-between spaces, for lack of a better way to put it. And you now have opportunities, especially this month, especially 8/8, like Lionsgate. You have opportunities to, it's like Spirit is saying, here's a bunch of eggs, and in a bunch of different baskets too, so you're already good with that. And you can put in them whatever you want. And if you choose to put good, miraculous things in them, as long as you can sit with them and let them incubate without over focusing on them, without like sabotaging them because they're not incubating as fast as you want, or things like that, then what you will give birth to, and I don't know on timing quite yet. I feel like there's an acorn seed in there too, and it's like growing in there. I'd never noticed that in this card before, which is related to the oak tree. And the oak is a very, very powerful tree in many cultures, and especially in Druidism and Celtic paths. And it's about, there's just so many things about it. I'm going to say go ahead and look it up, because I don't want this to be too long of a video, but this feels relevant. And you may look up in your area, like even if oak trees are not very prevalent around you, you might look up and see when would they grow, because it might be that season that is in there. Either way, it's fitting, because the bird breaks free from the egg, and then you see growth from a plant, and you see a child in there too, right? So this will be a good month for you to nurture your inner child through playing with what you can do with those eggs. You know, what do you want to put in them? What do you want to grow out of them? And can you allow them? Let me answer that question for you. It feels like the good news coming is that you're seeing that you can let it grow, and that you can do so many fun, amazing, like that you can create. You can be like the Easter Bunny and have a whole bunch of eggs that you lay and allow to incubate all over the place. And then as you are laying more and filling them up with more things that you like, other ones are already manifesting. And so it becomes more of kind of a fun game with that. You've also got, from the Energy Oracle deck, card number 46 in reverse, the Thinking Man in reverse, which tells me two things. One, your inner masculine side is done with overthinking things. It's time to have some action, get out of the procrastination. And you might be seeing more, because there's a lot of energy right now for the doing too, so it feels like part of what the goodness that's coming towards you is that you're seeing that in yourself, and you're seeing it reflected in others around you too. Also, he's holding a crystal, and that's been something that's been popping up a lot. Being a Capricorn myself, I'm thinking that if that's coming to me, it might be coming to you too. And crystals are often amplifiers, they're energy movers, they can hold energy, things like that. And it very much fits into what? The idea of the egg. So if you have crystals, or you feel called to crystals, or you know someone named Crystal, you might explore what roots those are growing. The other thing that I'm feeling like is that there's another masculine energy that you may have been waiting on, that has been in this like Thinking Man in reverse kind of energy. Well, more in this energy, the Thinking Man. Like you've been very patient, you've been waiting, you've been, and crystals can also be about manifesting. They can be like wands and stuff, and he's got, looks like barred owl feathers, and no, it might be turkey vulture. It's hard because it's a drawing, but I'm gonna say those two feel relevant. Maybe look up the meanings of those, but like that could suggest that, because both owls and turkey vultures are, they're predatory birds, and they're often about the cleanup cycle of things. They have a lot to do with karma and death and transformation and things like that. And so it may have been that, like, this month may either be that you're going to, if you're not communicating with them and you'd like to be, it's because they're getting out of that energy. And especially if you are focusing on you stuff, those eggs. The other thing it might be is that they might already be coming out of the Thinking Man energy, but that can sometimes create some anxiety. And on the Rider Waite card that came out, you got the Five of Cups, and it felt very much like that's more attached to this Thinking Man in reverse energy, kind of, but it feels more like, it's kind of like a small Tower card. And it feels like this person is looking, they're looking at the Three of Cups, and they're seeing that knocked over, there was poison in one of those cups. There's a third party situation in there that was toxic, that was not good. And they're still, they're human, and they're still thinking about what they thought that they could have, what they thought was there, the cups that were not poison, things like that. And I feel like in this one, it's not that they're not seeing the Two of Cups behind them, it's more that they are taking the appropriate time to do their healing work. And they know that time is irrelevant, that what's important is that they do this healing work because they don't want another Five of Cups. They don't want another moment with the Three of Cups spilled over. They don't want another moment where they feel like they got poisoned or they got tricked. And also, when I pulled these cards out for you, part of the reason that I put the title as what I did, is like hairs on the back of your neck, is because there was one hair on this card, and it was sitting right there on the back, like it was literally touching the back of the cloak on this one, and I wiped it away, and I got an image of, like, those moments when the hairs on the back of your neck raise up. And now sometimes those are moments of fear, though fear and excitement feel like very similar experiences in the physical body. It's the conscious mind that discerns the difference. And it feels like it's a combination of that with what you're learning and what you're seeing, there are going to be some moments where you're kind of maybe in a grief kind of space, like you got some tearfulness. Have yourself some ugly cries. It's okay. But then on the other side of that, you also are feeling like the excitement of the room in your life, and the things that are coming in and that are manifesting, and you can feel a big difference and change in it. And I can tell because in the rest of the deck, there's indicators in here that, like, your patience and your strength have really, I'm going to say, like, broken the spell for a lot of people. Broken kind of a societal spell, generational stuff. You know, you've been able to change some perspectives, not by, I'm going to say, unevolved Cappy ways of, like, trying to force it or trying to manipulate it or price it out. You've done it just by being you. And it feels like if you don't start seeing recognition of that, like in a pleasantly surprising ways, like recognition you wouldn't necessarily expect. Not that you don't feel you're worthy of it, just it wasn't, like the timing of it was like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting to get a compliment today, or I wasn't expecting for somebody to say they see me in the work that I do today, that kind of thing. If you're not already getting that now, you might start seeing that coming in August or just after August. It might be something that's just kind of, that you're, that's funny. There's a track that says Oak Harbor Freights, and that's been a relevant thing to the oak tree, remember? And I got it in that card too. So maybe there's also something to do with travel for you, or let's just say movement, momentum, progress. Alright, y'all. I'm going to leave this here. If you'd like a personal reading, you can reach me at wickedlydivinefeminine@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.